make sure that that program doesn't contain controversial subjects, and you're not impolite to people.
No, definitely not, Dad. You know me. I'm never, ever controversial or impolite.
Yeah. Okay.
Welcome to Conversations with your lovable, never pisses anyone off, never been banned from Facebook or YouTube, never been sabotaged or censored for politely expressing a difference of opinion. Ex-Muslim host Eiynah, keeping it non-controversial. This is part 2 of episode 12 with Tarek Fatah. If you haven't heard part 1 yet, I recommend you check that out first. It's a fun one. Here's part 2. You have no problem, I guess, talking about Muslims in broad statements. So it's the inverse of kind of how I and a lot of other ex-Muslims do our critique. Like, I believe that criticizing ideas is fine and should be open to everyone. It's a religion is just an idea.
Absolutely. The difference between your group and people like me, and there are many others, is that our objective starting, what your end point is for us just a passing phase. For the better part of my early adult life, which is from say 16 to when I left Pakistan in 29, almost everyone I dealt with, I was a person who was, and some of my friends were known as the Dahiriya or the atheists over there. And most of the people we worked with were people who would go and pray 5 times a day. And our issue was not their religion.
So you were an atheist?
Well, I mean, of course. What else is there? Do you think I believe in flying squirrels?
I don't know. You go to a mosque. I don't know. That's what I'm trying to understand.
No, this is the point. And
so you're an atheist, but you call yourself a Muslim, culturally.
I'm Muslim.
I don't understand.
I have the deepest respect for my Muslim community and for the people they love and adore most, which is their parents and the Prophet. I am an absolute devotee to Ali. I think he was a philosopher king and an immense contributor to the whole notion of justice in Islam, which is foreign to many other religions. That is why you will see that if you compare India and Pakistan saving faces that we do not, in our society, treat people with such contempt if they are poor. Then I've seen that happens in, say, India. So the whole notion of justice is so empowered in both in Muhammad's teaching and Ali that whether I'm an atheist or not, I can't happen to disrespect that.
Okay, so are you an atheist?
By your standards, yes, I would be an atheist.
Okay. Thank you for clarifying that. It's something that's always confused me. I because a lot of what you say, doesn't then make sense if you're a practicing Muslim. But
why would I practice something that has a pagan basis?
Absolutely. I agree. I mean, they talk about not idolatry, right? But going around the Kaaba 7 times is very idolatrous.
Exactly, it was a Hindu practice of doing peras that even during the Prophet's time was being done.
I agree.
And it was changed after Mecca was reconquered in the year 600 and I think it was 710. By that time, you do know that Islam was not, the caliphate had nothing to do with Mecca and Medina during the times when the caliphate moved to Damascus.
I will say that your ideas about Islam and justice and all of that, I completely disagree. I mean, one reading of the Quran will tell me that Islam is not very justice-friendly.
I don't accept the readings of the Quran where women are given half the share. It's up to me. I don't accept slavery. I just have to reject what I don't agree with.
So you don't agree with basically anything.
No, what I'm saying is, and this was my question to you right in the beginning, that when people were the companions of the Prophet, there was no Quran. So what was this notion of being a Muslim? For me, is very different.
Yeah, there was no Quran because it hadn't been revealed to him
So
yet.
how did people become Muslim?
Whatever, he was probably saying some stuff, and they were like, cool, I'll join you. I don't know.
Yeah, so what was he saying?
I don't know, wasn't there.
Precisely, why don't you start an inquiry and find out what did he say?
Well, he did a lot of other things.
Yeah.
And supposed to have said a lot of other things that disturbed me deeply. I'm not really interested.
No, just a second. Some things we know for certain, and some things we know because of what was written, like Sirah, right?
Yeah.
So let's deconstruct this. What we know for certain is that there was a man, Muhammad. What we know is that he basically, at the age of 40, among the first things in his life is that he married a twice divorced woman.
Very noble. Mm-hmm.
Not noble, no, but seriously, that just shows evidence that the pedophilia and the sexual deranged allegations against him. I'm talking of evidence-based analysis. Since you talk of reason, let's discuss it. It couldn't have happened if he was 25 and she was 45. And at 40, he comes down, or whatever say. I'm sure there was no Gabriel telling him anything. It is his realization. He says, what is this bullshit going on in Mecca? Why are we worshipping stones?
He also broke the idols inside the Kaaba. He smashed them up.
Just a second. We are talking of things we are 100% certain of what happened.
Well, I'm not 100% certain of anything.
No, you think Muhammad didn't exist?
I don't know.
Okay, that's a different story. Then we're talking of a completely different thing.
Yeah.
Okay. So then we can't go from anywhere to
it. We can't really. I mean, I can't be certain, right? But it is fascinating to try and wrap my head around your perspective, because here you are, Tarek Fatah, who people are so angry at for, I don't know, for being offensive towards Islam, but you're defending it. To me, it's bizarre when it flips like that, right? Like even when I heard you do a talk about Ayaan Ali's book in Urdu, which I didn't agree with a lot of what you said, but I think it's awesome that you did it in Urdu. Can I say Urdu? Because I know the word Urdu makes you angry.
No.
Should I say Hindi?
No.
Okay.
Just don't say that it is a Pakistani language. It's an Indian language.
Okay. Oh yeah, and before you go, I've got to talk to you about Pakistan, my lovely, lovely country.
Yes.
But yes, this talk you did about Ayaan Ali's book, you talked about how she's an ex-Muslim and why does she want to talk about Islam and all that stuff now. Once you've made a break, just go away. And what you made an analogy about, I think it was like
a goalkeeper.
No, it was about sasral and divorce and nun. So like a sister-in-law, and I guess if you get a divorce, why are you going back to your in-laws?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Something like that, right?
Yeah.
Why are you going back and meddling in your in-laws' affairs? Now you're divorced.
Yeah.
That's your analogy for ex-Muslims, right?
She has followed that. I think she followed my advice.
You think so? No, I don't think she stayed away from Islam. What are you talking about?
No, she stayed away. She's talking about it, but she's not talking of this thing that Muslims should convert to Christianity.
Oh, yeah. I have to say, I did not agree with that at all.
That's the thing.
But,
if I left my in-laws, why do I care whether they, what they're, go screw yourself, But to suggest to us that Muslims should convert to Christianity, and I think I asked her when I was hosting a discussion, I said, why not Judaism? That is
I heard that actually.
She said it's very difficult, which I found absolutely charming. By the way, I have immense respect for her, because
she's not an air conditioning.
No, she's not, because her start in life is political.
Okay.
Anyone who started in the service of community in political life and then arrives at a conclusion, they are real activists.
I think ex-Muslims are activists in their own right. They may not be in public office.
A political party.
They may be on their way.
No,
you don't know that.
You don't put the cart before the horse.
Well, you do whatever it takes and whatever comes naturally to you. I think it should be organic. But anyways, so Eiynah is not an air-conditioned atheist, but Ali is an air-conditioned atheist.
No. She's the real deal.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We
differ on tactics, but I'm a great fan of Eiynah Rizvi.
Yeah, I admire her in many ways as well. She actually printed part of my article, my letter to Ben Affleck in her book.
Okay. I differ also with her in her.
Yeah, we don't all always have to agree on everything.
But here's her latest analysis is that there are two types of Muslims, the Meccan Muslim and the Medinan Muslim.
Yeah.
That's absolutely rubbish because the Quran is not compiled according...
It's not compiled like that.
No,
but
I've never heard of that.
No, but I think it's an interesting way to simplify it for people.
But here's what I think she was onto something and at some place she got off track. What her thesis was that as long as Muhammad was fighting against the odds, his messages were very different then compared to when he was accepted by the Jews of Medina, which Muslims, by the way, deny, and accommodated, and the city-state was formed. Then the rules changed. Now, here's another aspect that Muslim hypocrites will deny. They talk of the universal law of Islam. The Prophet's laws as defined in Medina were not applied in Mecca.
Here's how I see it, that religion is very contradictory and you can pull two different messages from it. One, that you can live in peace and harmony with if you ignore the other stuff, and one, total chaos, violence, and destruction. Pardon?
I'm not discussing theology. I'm talking
No, I know. But here's how I see her splitting it, right? There's this side of Muhammad and there's this side of Muhammad. Mm-hmm. So I think it's useful to show people that both sides exist and maybe they can sway more towards the better side.
And then she should have said that.
Perhaps she put it more eloquently than that.
She could have said that this is the Islam that can lead you to being sensible, and this is where you get off the track.
She did say that in so many words.
Did she? Maybe I missed it then. But
anyways, my comment was more about how you said that it shouldn't be really her problem about reforming Islam because she's left it, and that's where the in-law analogy came in.
I don't think you can reform Islam. That's where I differ with...
Well, I think it's already changed over the years, right? People used to have slaves. People are now having gay-friendly mosques. It's changing.
Oh, it's funny how... This is where I come up with the air-conditioned atheists of North America. The atheists are very comfortable attending mosques if the imam is gay.
I'm not. I feel like I'm going to burst into flame.
Toronto atheists who go to this mosque.
They're not atheists. If they're going to mosques, usually they're believers.
No. They're going there because how could you not be absolute darling since you're a gay person? Therefore, if you're an imam who's gay, now everything's kosher.
There are some pretty awful gay people out there. There are some pretty nice gay people out there. Just because you're gay doesn't mean you're amazing.
They are, actually.
They are amazing, all gay people?
I mean, imagine. Just imagine. I don't mind. A lesbian can't understand this. But a gay man suffers immensely and for no fault of him.
I don't understand. I'm not a lesbian, but I don't understand.
No. For a lesbian, with two women going hand in hand, even in Pakistan, or even in the Uganda, which is another hellhole for them, nobody objects. But can you imagine?
Have you not been to Zainab Market in Karachi? Every man is walking hand in hand with another man.
No, but that's my point. It is the gay man's paradise. Pakistan is.
Yeah, it is a bit. It's funny because heterosexual hand-holding is frowned upon. You know, a woman almost drove over me and my husband. We were crossing the street in Karachi, and we were holding hands. And she's like shouted like whore or whatever, like in Urdu at me.
You know what you should have done? You should have just given your husband a kiss on his cheek.
He was so panicked because he's never really. I've still lived in Pakistan a bit, but he's never really lived there that much. So he was like frightened. But, you know, then we walk around the markets and the guys are like grabbing each other's butts and holding hands. And I'm like, this is so bizarre because everyone's a homophobe, yet same-sex affection and hand-holding and butt grabbing is perfectly acceptable. But
you should go to the gay life in Pakistan is exclusively upper class.
It is absolutely.
So that is where the air conditioning part comes in.
There are poor gay people, I'm sure.
Yes, but the poor gay people dare not intermingle. A working class,
but they do have gay sex.
Absolutely.
Okay, so they have their own gay life. This is a very classist society.
It is divided strictly by class.
Absolutely.
The transgendered woman was not allowed in the Peshawar hospital. She had 6 bullet wounds, and she was not allowed. Had she been an auntie, an Immi auntie, I can tell you the entire hospital would have taken her in.
Yes, we're a transphobic, homophobic society. There is no doubt about that.
Overriding classification is class. That's where my sense of the label comes in.
Yes, there is a lot of classism too, but
it is the defining category.
Yes, but you know, when I was in Pakistan last, I was happy to go out and speak to the girls that worked at my grandmother's and my aunt's house. I was trying not to be classist. I was definitely trying my hardest, but there are some ways that the society is set up that you just can't avoid. You know what I mean? It's horrible. It's horrible.
It's okay. You can't blame the ills of feudal society unless you are willing to, smash it. That is why I'm saying you have to defeat them.
Well, I try in my whatever small pathetic ways. I do try.
Here's my.
No, it's not at all entirely air conditioned.
I'll tell you how to get de-air conditioned.
Yes, please give me some tips.
Do visit India.
I'm going to visit India, but I don't know about Pakistan. I am a bit scared.
No, I'm saying how you will understand female empowerment that's coming out in India. You should see how the bicycle and the motorbike is changing India's view. When you ride a motorbike, you destroy everything that a woman was traditionally supposed to do when she had to sit.
You do, but let's not forget how classist and sexist and misogynist Indian society is as well.
It isn't, because these women who are on bikes.
There are some, but I mean, again, women are gang raped.
Just a second.
Okay.
You can't buy a car if you are working class. And if you have a motorbike, you are working class. Mm-hmm. And if you're working class, you get to office faster than your damn car, because it allows you to weave in and out by the stupid idiots who sit in the rear seat while the chauffeur is sitting on the best seat and get caught up in traffic. I've sat down for hours and days just watching the interaction of different classes. And I tell you, it is the 10 to 20-year-old Indian girl and woman who is kicking the entire structure because they're going to government schools, which are co-ed, where they wear uniforms and they're smarter than the boys. And I went to this city where Mahmud Ghazni destroyed the Mathura. I went there, and I was invited to a girls' school to speak, and my daughter was there. The one thing both Natasha and I observed was the confidence of the 15-year-olds. They had no makeup. They were smarter, they were independent, the way the shoulders were, the way the chins were up, and
That's great. But you can find those girls in Pakistan too.
No,
you
no,
can.
they are only in upper middle class.
No.
You
No,
think
there
that
are some.
lower
The classism is a South Asian problem.
No,
it's not that India is perfect and Pakistan is horrendous.
I've been there.
I have not been to India, but no, but I know it's not perfect. I know it's very similar to Pakistan. It's less Islamist, absolutely.
Eiynah. It is more Islamist than Pakistan.
What?
Yes.
Okay.
This is what I'm saying is a result of. This is why I have a problem with the anti-Indianness of Pakistani.
I don't have any anti-Indianness.
This is built in because you are passing judgment.
That's a very generalized state. That's a very.
Eiynah, didn't you comment and pass judgment on India's class system?
Yes.
I have not been there.
It doesn't matter. I can comment on another. I comment on the plight of Afghani women, and I've not been there either.
Yes, but if you're talking to someone who has been there about a dozen times in the last 5-6 years.
Yes, you've been there, but you do tend to have a pretty anti-Pakistan and pro-India bias.
Absolutely, because I'm Indian.
Yes, we all were Indian. We all were Indian at one point.
I have a low threshold for anyone who amputates someone.
I don't like it very much either. I'm not sure what you're saying.
India was amputated by the likes of many parents who celebrated it, or grandparents.
So did you ever have pride as a Pakistani? Here's the thing. You know what's interesting is that I'm a critic of Pakistan. I spend a lot of time criticizing it, but I do it kind of out of affection for it.
I have no affection.
Right. This is the difference. I want it to be better, and I want it to succeed. It is failing. Absolutely. It's horrible. I'm a dreamer, whatever, but
that's anybody who believes that Pakistan, a product of a genocide that inflicted a genocide, is air-conditioned.
What?
That is the strata within which you think that you're asking the Nazis to be reformed.
Pakistani is not synonymous with Nazi. No.
Here's the point. They killed how many? 6 million in 5 years?
No, but you're including a lot of people into that. That didn't kill anyone.
Oh, you think every Nazi killed someone? No.
No, I'm sure their children didn't. I've heard this argument. Not all Nazis. I've heard it before.
Yeah. But here's the point. Do you know of anyone in your parents' or grandparents' circle?
Why are you angry at my parents?
No, because that generation celebrated the genocide in Bangladesh.
No, my parents did not celebrate it.
Oh, please.
No, how do you know? You don't even know them. How do you know?
What I'm saying is there were 3 people that were jailed in 1971 for being with the Mukti Bahini. I know one friend of mine in Lahore. I will say I don't know of anyone who supported the Mukti Bahini in Pakistan.
Okay. So then you think it's justified to say things like, it's time the world came to a realization Pakistan is a cancerous tumor on the face of humanity. If not surgically removed, it'll kill us all.
Yes, it is killing us all.
What do you mean surgically? What are you hoping for? What do you want to happen?
The occupation of Pakistan, or Balochistan and Gilgit-Baltistan.
So Pakistan should go back to India? Is that what you want?
No, I don't care. I don't want. You can either have Pakistan or the Pakistan army. You can't have both. Number 2, the occupation of an independent Kalat state has to end.
No, but you're talking about specific things, and then you say Pakistan. You say Pakistan is a cancerous tumor. That includes a lot of people, a lot of lovely people.
Not Pakistanis. Who told you the Sindhis are Pakistanis? Who told you the Baloch are Pakistani?
No, I'm Pakistani and I'm half Sindhi.
No. The Sindhis were pushed into Pakistan by GM Sayyid's vote.
Okay, but my grandparents who are Sindhi were in Pakistan already. They did not have to cross the border at partition.
They didn't have to cross the border, but they were occupied by Pakistan.
Okay, but they're proud to call themselves Pakistani. That is how they identify. Any
Sindhi who says that he is Pakistani and then a Sindhi is complicit. in the massacres that have happened.
I don't see them ranking it. They're Pakistani Sindhis or Sindhi Pakistanis. I've never asked them if they think they're Sindhi first or Pakistani first.
Do you think the word Sindhu, Hind, came from Pakistan?
No. Why are you getting upset about
Because
words?
you occupied a country and then said, we are nice people.
I didn't occupy a country.
Then you should oppose it if it's occupied.
I do oppose it. I criticize Pakistan all the time, but what do you want me to do? Dismantle it?
Now, we are not talking of criticizing. One country is occupied by another. Why can't you get that? The state of Kalat became independent.
What would you like the world to do?
To give Kalat its independence.
And then Pakistan can exist.
Then Pakistan won't exist.
What will it be?
There'll be a water war between Sindh and Punjab.
So you want a ton of wars and the eradication of Pakistan.
There's going to be no war. When Balochistan, once you've killed enough Baloch people and celebrated by planting Pakistan's flag on their graves.
Yeah, I'm not in favor of that, though. I'm not in favor of that.
Why aren't you in favor of the independence of Balochistan?
I'm not opposing it either.
But you are saying nothing about it.
I don't know enough about it.
Well, if you're celebrating Sabine Mahmood, then you should know something about it.
I know Sabine Mahmood, and I know that she died for speaking about it. But
yes,
I don't incessantly tweet about Balochistan because that is not my area of expertise. That's not because I'm a horrible Pakistani colonizer who favors, their occupation. It's just what I want to know is what you want when you say Pakistan is a tumor.
It should
be surgically removed. Don't you think that is offensive to so many? You don't think good people? No. You say Pakistan is not a country; it's a state of mind, and you even call horrible Indian Muslims who you want to insult Pakistani.
Yeah, because
it's like a swear word for you.
It is. If you were German...
And so then this is why you have a problem with Pakistani ex-Muslims. Also, it all ties in, like Ali Rizvi and myself. We are Pakistani, and we're not ashamed of saying we're Pakistani. But we're not complicit in the oppression of other people just because we're saying we're Pakistani.
Because your country has occupied another country, and you...
Yeah, but everything my country does is not my fault.
So you are ignorant about Pakistan's occupation of Kalat. And even if I educated you and...
No, please educate me.
I'm telling you, on March 28, 1948, the Pakistan government sent its army and invaded Kalat. Will you promise me one thing?
What should I promise you?
Go back, talk to your grandpa, grandma, and your parents. And ask them if they even know about this.
So if they don't know,
do you think... They're complicit.
Why?
I'll tell you why. Give me a chance. Do you think that the white supremacists in South Africa, who were not bad people and who supported the apartheid regime out of ignorance, were not complicit in apartheid?
I don't think comparing white supremacists and Pakistanis is fair.
They're occupying an independent country, and your parents and Ali Rizvi's parents and you all will
you're comparing our parents to white supremacists just because of an accident of birth where they were born.
No, now you're playing word games with me.
I'm not.
You think that if your parents or that generation of people are ignorant about the Pakistan occupation of the state of Kalat and Gilgit-Baltistan.
See, you have these pet causes. No one is allowed to talk about anything else.
It's not my pet cause. Should be your pet cause.
Why should you dictate what my pet cause is? For me, what matters to me is a lot of things. It's not just one thing. Yeah, I fight for equality on a lot of fronts, and I don't do it in air conditioning all the time.
So your equity fight is only about what you choose.
But yours is about what you choose.
No, I come from Pakistan, so I have to first see the inequity in my home.
You're saying you come from Pakistan, but I thought you hated it.
The equity from there. You were born in Pakistan. You came here as a teenager, right?
Yeah, before that I lived in Saudi Arabia.
In Saudi Arabia, you didn't go to the Pakistan embassy school.
No, not at all.
You went to the American embassy school.
I went to a Western school.
So why do you get upset when I say you're air-conditioned?
I'm not denying my privilege.
Precisely. I had the privilege, but I sent my daughter to the Pakistan embassy school.
Well, why did you do that?
Because I wanted her to see the truth.
It was a horrible school, by the way.
No, it's the biggest school in Saudi Arabia. It caters to 18 countries. But
yeah, and there was a lot of messed up people going there.
No. I'll tell you what. None of the Pakistanis who are there want their children to go with anyone other than white people.
No. They just want to provide their kids with the best opportunity. So you think that my parents are like some kind of, seeking the approval of white people. And this relates back to,
I'm telling you, why would you go in Saudi Arabia to a school that only had white people?
Because my parents wanted to put me in the best school that they could afford. That was the best school that they could. It was not about white people versus brown people.
White people.
No, it's about the best opportunity you can get your child. Here's your socials. You're like such a strange mix of weird Indian nationalism and social justice warriorism. What is happening? Yeah.
Your parents sent you to a white school. In Saudi Arabia.
They did not send me to a white school. There was like 80-something nationalities in my school. It was very multicultural. There was a lot of Arabs. There was a lot of South Asians. There was a lot of Africans. And there were white people. And we lived in happy coexistence.
So in Saudi Arabia, you do recognize it's an apartheid state.
Oh, Saudi Arabia. Yeah, I'm not defending it in the very least.
Just give me time to explain my perspective of how screwed up we are. Recognizing that Saudi Arabia is an apartheid state where salaries are dependent on your passport, right? There are schools run by the Saudi government, and then there are schools run by Indian and Pakistani embassies. Bear with me. Then there are schools by the American school where Humayun went and where Eiynah went. British school or American school. You didn't go to the Greek embassy school, I can bet you.
Well, I'm going to keep it vague and say Western.
Yes, it is. There are two only schools, British school and the American school.
Okay.
Your parents chose to send you to a school that reinforced the Saudi apartheid.
That's a pretty twisted way of looking at it.
Why didn't they send you to a school that had people of your background?
Because they did not want to engage in that racial segregation, Tarek.
Oh, so they went up to the white ladder.
No, they went up to the multicultural school. What?
No,
I just told you there's 80-something nationalities in my school.
And 40 were European.
No, not necessarily. I mean, I did not do a chart or anything. What's wrong with 40 European and 40 non-European, though? That's still pretty diverse.
You went to a white school in Saudi Arabia.
It was the best school. It was the best school. They did not say, which is the whitest school I can send my child to. No, they said, which is the best school that we can afford. And it happens to be a Western school.
Why do you say it's the best school?
It's the best school because, I mean, it was a pretty fancy school. Like, I don't want to go into details, otherwise you'll know exactly what school I'm talking about. But, pardon?
I want the details. Why was the white school the best school?
No, it wasn't the white school. But what is this? What is this weird tribal language?
You went to an apartheid country and your parents chose the white school.
So you wanted us to stay in that racial segregation. Pakistanis with Pakistanis, brown people with brown people, white people with white people, black people with black people. What is this? Do you not want multicultural existence?
You see, let's move on because I have proven my point.
What is your point that you've proven?
Upward mobility.
Upward mobility. No, upward mobility because my dad moved to Saudi Arabia to earn more money than he could probably earn in Pakistan. Yes. And having more income.
I'm talking of your school, not your dad. My
school was because my dad could afford it. This is not, he is not some like slave to the white man. Like, I don't understand what you're implying. And you were some real fantastic brown nationalist that you put your kid in the brown school. Wonderful.
It's a question of privilege and using it to enhance yourself.
What is wrong with using your privilege to go forward? That is what my dad suffered in great poverty.
That'd be the closing line. What is wrong in using white privilege?
No, I did not say white privilege.
What other privilege? Black privilege?
There's all sorts. There's Muslim privilege too, by the way.
Oh, for goodness sake.
Come on. You don't recognize other kinds of privilege except for white privilege?
Let's move on. You're defending apartheid now.
I'm not. Yes. You're the one that wants the racial segregation. What is happening? This is so twisted.
What next? You're going to accuse Malcolm X of being racist?
No, I did not say you're racist. So, no, don't put words in my mouth. And I'm not talking about Malcolm X. I'm saying why you want to keep your kids. Saudi Arabia, I don't approve of anything it does.
Would not enter a school until and unless you met a certain income requirement, right or wrong?
Of course.
And now you want in Canada a public education system.
Because the public education system is good here.
And it wasn't good.
And you know what, though, Tarek? If I was filthy rich, which I'm not, maybe I'd go to private school in Canada. But, I mean, that doesn't mean I'm some sort of racist or...
Yes,
no.
You're right.
No, you have money.
Absolutely. You put exactly where I call that entire group air-conditioned, right-wing, upward mobility.
Right wing.
Acceptance.
Right wing. You think I'm right wing?
Private education? You're defending private education?
Pot, meat, kettle. Public schools in Saudi taught in Arabic. So the Pakistani embassy school Tarek's daughter went to, you guessed it, private. Not that there was really a non-private school option for those of us who didn't speak Arabic. That said, of course, I think it's hugely important for a country to provide a good, solid, secular public education, free and accessible to all. And I'm fortunate to now live in a country like Canada that does. However, demonizing people for attending private school doesn't make sense to me.
Chalo Pakistan pe jao, but let's finish with this.
I don't think there's anything wrong with, if you have money, using it to further yourself. Why do you think people work to get money? My dad came from extreme poverty. After the partition of India, his family had to sell everything. He lost a sibling. They couldn't afford food, you know.
Why did he move to Pakistan?
Their house was being burned. He saw murder and all kinds of stuff. I don't want to tell you the city because I don't want to be identified.
Do you know that 90% of the killing took place in cities of Pakistan where there are no Hindus left? And in every city
So are you erasing the struggle that my dad as a child had? That they had to flee their house? You're erasing the struggle just because he was a Pakistani having to move to India, not the other way around?
Why did he have to move to India? That more Muslims in India...
Why did he move to India? Because they were driven out of their homes. They would have been burned alive.
How is it that Delhi has a 20% Muslim population?
I don't know, man. I don't know.
If they were driven out, they wouldn't be there.
Do you think everyone faced the exact same circumstances? All I know is that they left everything behind.
Which city in India?
I don't want to tell you for specific reasons. I do not want to be... You're asking me for some very specific details about my life.
No, I'm asking generalities. Which city of India were all Muslims removed?
If you were willing to take the risk, you could probably stay behind. But you do not blame people, the victims of...
No, they were not victims.
Oh, my gosh.
They were the dictators. They imposed their language on Pakistan and made it the state language.
Wow. No. His family fled and they lost children. They had disease. They had poverty. They're not dictators. That's a really, really twisted way of looking at it.
I'm asking you, name me one city in which I'll give you Lahore and Karachi, just two, and Rawalpindi and Multan, where not a single Hindu was left alive.
I'm sorry, but my dad has Hindu friends from Karachi.
Oh, so I have black friends as well.
Okay, so then even any city that I give you, you're going to say the same thing about my dad being driven out.
Do you not see that it's a false parallel? That every city of Pakistan became Hindu free, and every city in India has a Muslim healthy minority. That 20% of Delhi and Bombay and Calcutta and Madras.
Which is the bigger landmass?
Lahore is zero Hindu. It's a Hindu city.
Okay, you're saying this to me like I approve of that. I am opposed to that just as much as you are, but I don't approve of you erasing my father's struggle and his migration. Why did you move to Pakistan?
They supported.
Why did you move? Why did you live there?
I renounced Pakistan in 1965.
But why were you there? Why were you there at all? Were your family dictators?
I was born there.
Why were you born there? Come on, man. You should have known better.
Let's end it there then. Why was I born in Pakistan? There are a number of quotes of me that I get paid by India, and they get repeated.
I did not quote any of those things. Tarek, you know, they tell me I get paid by CIA. I'm not as important as you are. Otherwise, I'd have more. But I've been accused of being paid by Mossad, by CIA, by RAW, and by ISI.
You never say that.
I've experienced a lot of right-wing anti-Pakistan bigotry from Hindu nationalists as well, and I don't understand how you can support Charlie Hebdo but be so sensitive about being provocative in terms of Hinduism. The Muslim girls who were making a silly selfie in front of a Hindu goddess statue.
They did not slaughter every Muslim in Delhi. We slaughtered every Hindu in Lahore.
You are now holding little children responsible for crimes that many generations. They were teenagers. They were teenagers. Yeah. And then you said to Taslima Nasreen, why would anyone eat beef unless to provoke Hindus?
It is in India.
Well, okay, so you're fine with Charlie Hebdo provoking Muslims, which is great. I think it's fantastic. Provoke all religious people because they need to think about it. Why then be so defensive about Hinduism? Why then be so defensive about India that you want to erase the struggles of Pakistanis in the partition?
Are you waiting for an answer?
Yes.
Okay. Because we slaughtered every Hindu in Lahore.
No, this is a very social justice warrior answer. I'm talking about the people of today, not what their ancestors did.
Today, who are the people standing up against universal civil law in India? The Hindus or the Muslims?
No, I'm talking about beef provocation. I'm not talking. Yes. I'm against people who want Sharia law in India. I'm against them wanting triple talaq.
Listen about the beef issue.
Yes.
Okay. Do you know of any Muslim community anywhere in the Muslim world? I'm not talking of eating steaks in Toronto. Do you know from Algeria to Indonesia if any Muslim eats beef?
What?
As a staple meat.
Yes.
No.
What are you talking about?
You think the Sindhis eat beef?
My grandparents eat beef.
Oh, please.
They eat a lot of fish, but they also eat beef.
Listen.
You think they don't have beef shawarmas in Saudi Arabia?
Oh my God. Do you know of any Muslim society from Algeria to Indonesia whose prime meat is beef?
And what difference does that make? I just told you there's a lot of beef in Pakistan. There's a lot of beef in Saudi Arabia.
No, either you say yes or you don't.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
You think that Algerians to Indonesians, the prime meat eating is beef?
Prime or not? What difference does it make?
Oh, I will come to that because the only people who do eat beef are the people of Uttar Pradesh and Bihar. The only Muslims of India who eat beef.
There's nothing wrong with a good beef kebab. What's wrong with that?
Oh, for goodness sake. I don't think that is why I'm saying it's a condition. You're not looking for an answer.
Okay. I'll play along. Yes, okay. They don't have primary, let's say they don't have beef as their main meat.
And why?
Why?
Because the Prophet, along with pork, said that the cow is not something to be eaten. because it gives you milk. Don't kill it.
Is that why we have so many beef shawarma stalls right outside the Kaaba in Mecca? Is that why Medina, all the streets are lined with beef shawarma?
Let's finish with this, because you're not going to look reason. Your hatred of the Hindus.
I have no hatred of Hindus.
Of course you don't even know. You're pissing. You live in India. You come as invaders and you eat beef. And you say, oh, there's nothing wrong. When you could eat mutton. And
Why should I change because of somebody else's religion? That's so oppressive.
You invade them, you fuck them, you murder them.
I didn't invade or fuck anyone.
You
so sorry.
honor them. You're honoring the habit of eating cows.
Yeah. I have no I can understand the vegan argument, but
no, you won't. That's because that's a white argument.
Oh yeah, you know my love for white people.
No, I'm saying vegan. When did you hear vegan in Pakistan, the word?
No, I'm not a vegan, man. I'm not subscribing to that.
You said you understand the vegan argument.
What I understand is, but I will not change my habits for vegans.
No,
do you
don't
understand?
change your habits. Nobody
Even
wants you
the
to
ethical argument of Jains or whatever, I understand the concern, but that is something that they cannot impose on others. Right?
Oh, really?
Yes.
You can go and impose your religion and rule them for 1,000 years, and they can't ask in return for you not to eat cow.
No, that I have not imposed anything. I have not.
Oh, you have.
No, I haven't. You're blaming me for.
Where did this habit come from of eating cows? There were no cows in India.
Do you?
Sorry?
Do you eat beef?
No.
You don't. No. Out of respect to Hinduism.
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, I think I don't really have any respect for religion, any of it. Not Islam, not Hinduism. So
no.
If someone's going to be violent about imposing their don't eat beef laws, I'm going to mock them and I'm going to oppose them. And I don't see how you can praise Charlie Hebdo and stand in solidarity with them, but then get angry at girls just because they're evidently Muslim, but they're making funny faces at a Hindu goddess statue. Let them. They're being provocative.
They're not being provocative.
Of course they are.
They're putting the middle finger up a Hindu.
That's what Charlie Hebdo are doing. That's why I admire them. Put the middle finger up for religion. Why this weird respect for Hinduism?
Because of Muslim hate for Hindus.
I'm not Muslim.
Of course you are. What bullshit. You don't know any. You won't even survive in Iran or Arabia.
Of course I won't. That's why I left.
Oh, come on.
I hate it. What do you think I'm saying?
No, you're not. You in the end, as I said.
In the end, we're all goddamn Muslims, eh?
No. You can take God out of a Pakistani. You can't take Pakistan out of a Pakistani.
Oh, my. Why do you think people call you a bigot when you say things like Pakistan should be eradicated? And one of the people who gets the most hate for criticizing Pakistan, you're calling a Pakistani patriot.
No, you are, because you all are.
You all are. It's very not generalized, Tarek.
It is. You think that all your anti-God atheist Pakistanis are not pro-Pakistan?
I'm not pro-Pakistan.
Oh, please.
What are you talking about?
You want to improve Pakistan to your level, but you don't want to dismantle Pakistan.
Why should I dismantle it?
Because you invaded somebody's country.
I didn't invade anybody. Everybody invaded somebody's country. America should be dismantled?
Aha! We got to that. In the end, America Murdabad.
Oh yeah, now you're saying I'm anti-America. No,
I don't know. You said it.
No, I did not. I'm saying that's a ridiculous argument.
In the end, it's always about. Koi aur baat karo beta. Chalo.
Chale, you got me. I'm very anti-American. I'm a secret Islamist. I am a Pakistani patriot. You have exposed me in our chat. I have been exposed. Oh dear. I'm out.
अपने बच्चों के लिए white school ढूंढो बेटा यहाँ. वो सारे white होंगे.
अंकल यहाँ पे सारे स्कूल white हैं. क्या करें?
I know.
बताएं आप.
अच्छा कुछ और है या नहीं है?
अब क्या रहता है?
चले
अब मान लिया आपने कि मैं एक पाकिस्तानी औरत हूँ या नहीं?
ना ये तो मान लिया पाकिस्तानी औरत.
चले जबरदस्त. Janet, you know what? I do truly appreciate your open-mindedness to have this discussion because you know that we don't always get along. So
No, I get along with you.
Okay.
You don't get along with me.
no, I am the one that invited you on to chat with
And
you.
I'm very appreciative of that fact. And I wish you all the good luck. I wish you come out one day and tell people who you are, because that is the right way of doing it.
It is the right way. And when I feel secure enough to do that, inshallah, I will.
You will. You are secure. You need to feel secure because what you're doing is the right thing. And why should anybody have to be anonymous? This is very painful for me.
It is very painful for me. Imagine most of my
Absolutely.
high-profile work, I cannot put my name to, you know?
You should. You should. You should.
Someday.
If it's good enough for Ayan, it's good
Look
enough
at how
for...
Ayan lives, though. I don't admire that bodyguard and that kind of lifestyle. I can't afford it either. I'm just a poor
I can't
artist.
afford it. I can't afford it. I had a death threat just 2 days ago. Some of you guys were mocking it. So don't worry about it.
You know, don't group me in with some of... I don't know who was mocking your death threats.
Yeah,
That's very cruel. I would never do such a thing.
Chalta rehta, beta. But anyway, good luck to you. You take care.
Okay,
And,
you too. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Take care. Khuda
Khuda
Hafiz.
Hafiz.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Thanks for listening to another episode of Polite Conversations. You can support this podcast by sharing the shit out of it, making some noise about it, or contributing via Patreon. Patreon.com/Nice Mangoes. No E in mangoes. Also, you can follow me on Twitter @Nice Mangoes. If you want to make a one-time donation instead of a monthly Patreon one, you can do so via PayPal. nicemangoes.blog@gmail.com. Remember, no E in mangoes. If you've got an interesting story and would potentially like to be a guest, you can email me there too. A special thanks to Dylan Beck for theme music, sound, and production help.